You said Offset ran his pockets in the studio.
That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I said you tried to leave the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. He was walking away.
I've been on you.
He signed paperwork he didn't fully understand. He trusted people who weren't really in his corner, and by the time the truth started creeping in, the doors were already locked behind him. This is the story behind Offset, Wack100, and tens of millions of dollars that don't add up like people think they do. Somebody isn't being straight, and today we're breaking down what really went down. Bad contracts, misplaced loyalty, and an industry that stays playing dirty. Before we even touch the Offset and Wack100 situation, there's something crucial about the rap business that a lot of fans completely miss. The business side is ice cold, no sympathy, no mercy. And Offset knows this firsthand after surviving years in the industry and learning the hard way. A lot of people at home think rappers are just swimming in money, buying cars, flashing chains, and living stress-free lives. But what you see online is not the full story. Behind the scenes, labels and managers stay running plays, taking advantage of young artists who just want a way out. When you're hungry and trying to change your life, you'll sign almost anything put in front of you. Offset admitted this himself when he opened up about how artists get stuck in deals that follow them for years, sometimes forever. And this right here is the key to the whole situation. Offset wasn't just talking about himself, he was exposing the entire system. That's why, when Wack100's name popped up, people immediately believed there might be issues. Wack has long been accused of using the same industry tactics that labels have used for decades. Here's the real breakdown Offset explained. An album drops, the label makes $2 or $3 million, and even after they recoup what they advanced you, the artist is still in the negative because of endless expenses added to their tab. That's the play. That's the setup. This type of business didn't start yesterday. It's been happening since the Motown era, and it's still happening today. And that context is exactly why stories about Wack100 spread so fast. He's been around for decades, managing big names like The Game and Blueface, and staying deeply connected to West Coast industry circles. When a story like this surfaces, people already think they know how the game goes. Everybody knows him, and he knows everybody. But when it comes to artist contracts and business moves, Wack100's name has been under heavy. Every time his name comes up, the same questions follow, according to DJ Akademiks and multiple industry insiders who've spoken on it. One of the biggest claims is that Wack allegedly locked Blueface into a deal where he takes around 70% of his total earnings. Yeah, that number alone makes people pause. So how does that even happen? Simple. Wack reportedly positioned himself as both the label and the manager at the same time. As the label, he takes 50% right off the top. Then as the manager, he adds another 20%. That's a massive slice. Akademiks called it double dipping, and that's where the problem starts. When one person is negotiating your deals while also profiting the most from them, who's really protecting the artist? Exactly. Nobody missed. The tension between Offset and Wack100 wasn't really about contracts or money at all. This situation got way more personal than business, and it involved people close to both sides. Wack has had a long-standing relationship with Cardi B, going back to before she even knew Offset. He's always shown her respect, and that history matters. So when Offset and Cardi's issues started playing out publicly, Wack found himself stuck right in the middle of the chaos. Things escalated when Wack openly admitted on camera that he had information that could have seriously hurt Offset's public image. But he said he chose to keep it contained out of respect for Cardi. That decision alone raised eyebrows everywhere. Before holding back though, Wack had already called Offset out publicly. He posted on his Instagram story saying, "Lil weird ass any nay, I told you keep me out your emotional stuff." That post lit the internet up instantly, and here's where it gets messy. Blueface, who Wack manages, shared claims that Offset allegedly had private encounters with Chrisean Rock while still married to Cardi B. That information spread fast and caused major waves. Offset reportedly reacted immediately, calling Wack and demanding he control his artists and stop things from spiraling further. Offset believed Wack gave the green light for that information to come out, but Wack has consistently denied that. He claims he had no idea about any of it until it was already circulating online and completely out of control. And that denial right there is what keeps this whole situation unresolved and controversial to this day. Blueface was moving on his own clock, making decisions without checking in first. And at that point, Wack100 was ready to fully step back and let everything come out. He was tired of being blamed for a situation he says he never set up or even knew about beforehand.
Her husband, Offset, do you think it's actually over? Or is this just a bump in the road?
It's not over. Just talk to Cardi.
Did they refollow yet?
I don't know nothing about that.
Let's check.
I just think maybe her phone's malfunctioning.
I highly doubt that.
Cardi's cool, man.
Yeah?
So if your wife
Unfollows me.
unfollows you, you think it's over? Your fucking marriage is dictated by social media, follow and unfollow?
Well, it definitely doesn't
Get
bode
the
well,
fuck out
right?
of here, bro.
I mean, it's a sign that there's trouble in
Cardi-
paradise, right?
Cardi unfollowed. Maybe
He unfollowed as well.
maybe she
So
didn't
maybe
want-
she blocked him.
Maybe he was posting
Or
some
vice versa.
things she didn't agree with. Or whatever. But let's not jump to a conclusion that because of a unfollow, the marriage is over.
I mean, we don't have to jump to that conclusion.
Hey, get
But
the
I think
fuck
it's
out of
fair
here.
to say that there's trouble in paradise when you
what?
unfollow
It's
each
all
other when you're
everybody-
married and you have kids.
But then a phone call shifted the entire direction of this mess. Cardi B personally reached out to Wack and made one thing clear. She told him they were already separated and that the situation no longer involved her directly. Still, she respectfully asked him to keep things from blowing up any further and not drag her name into it. Out of respect for their long history, Wack agreed. And just like that, the Offset Cardi Wack situation cooled down. Cardi stepping in is what really stopped things from spiraling further. But that drama wasn't even the part that had the streets talking for years. The real conversation starts with the infamous dice game situation that people still argue about to this day.
What is going on with 42 Dugg and you? He clapped back. You said Offset ran his pockets in the studio.
That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I said you tried to leave the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. He was walking away.
Now we're getting into the heart of it all. The story that's been replayed, debated, denied, and dissected across podcasts, interviews, and social media nonstop. The dice game between Offset and 42 Dugg at QC Studios back in 2019. Wack100 was there that night and has been the loudest voice telling the story across multiple interviews. According to him, this is exactly how things unfolded. First, Wack made one thing clear. He never claimed Offset took anyone's money outright. That was never his version.
What, tapping pockets is like, I'm gonna rob you, but it's like
No,
metaphorically,
bottom
I'm
line,
like
look,
figuring
nothing
out if
about
you have anything to steal.
42 Dugg had a bunch of money in both his pockets. You know, he got skinny jeans on, so both down his pockets. Offset didn't take too kind to him walking away from the dice game when it was Offset dice. He was hitting 20,000.
So you can't just walk away from the dice game? That's a violation.
What he said was that Offset tried to press 42 Dugg for leaving the dice game early while Offset was on a hot streak. Here's the breakdown Wack gave. This happened on the final day of Lil Baby's tour stop in Atlanta. Wack had brought Blueface to the city specifically to record with Offset. That was the only reason they were at the studio that night. Wack says he contacted Pierre P. Thomas to open QC Studios so they could lock in the session. While there, a dice game started. Now for context, dice game etiquette matters in street culture. If someone is rolling hot, you don't scoop your money and leave mid-run. That's seen as major disrespect to the shooter and the game itself. According to Wack, things escalated outside the studio. He claims Offset followed 42 Dugg, reached toward where the money was visible, and struck him once in the face.
Our QC Studios, that gate don't open on motion. You got to open from inside the building. Offset jumps up and trails behind him. I come behind him. I got a few of the schoolyards with me because we on tour. Offset walks right up and Doug's walking away from him, grabs his left pocket. Some money bulging out of it. He didn't take the money out of his pocket, right? I don't know if he was attempting to take it or he was just trying to turn him around or what it was. Nevertheless, Dugg ends up turning around. When he turned around, Offset fired.
In the face.
Right in the face.
Wack says he paused, counting in his head, waiting to see if there would be a reaction. But according to him, 42 Dugg didn't respond at all. No back and forth, no reaction, nothing. That alone shocked people. But the story really flipped when 42 Dugg went live online and called Wack a liar, denying the entire version of events. That's when Wack did something nobody expected. He revealed private messages allegedly sent directly from Offset himself, sending this situation into an entirely different lane. Those messages ended up confirming Wack's version of events.
So Offset says, nah, Unc is right. I gotta respect what he's saying. They go back in the building. I tell them, open the motherfucking, that's from Offset. See the date. Scroll down.
Wednesday.
That's Dugg doing his rant. What the fuck did Offset say to me?
Why this N-word lying? Oh.
See, one thing about Wack, I got the content. I recited everything that happened, right?
When 42 Dugg went public saying the situation never happened, Offset allegedly messaged Wack directly asking why Dugg was lying. That move alone made it seem like Offset was backing up Wack's account and directly contradicting what 42 Dugg was saying online.
I can show you just prior to that, Offset cussing me out.
For what?
Because of the Blueface shit. Cussing me the fuck out. Going crazy on me.
But no love lost, because when the Dugg thing came up, he was...
No, but it's going to lead to this. What does he say? You my what?
You my uncle. These texts is crazy.
But 42 Dugg wasn't letting that narrative stick at all. He jumped on Instagram Live and told a completely different story. One he stood on with everything he had. He even put his mother's life on it, which in street culture is as serious as it gets. You don't go that far unless you believe every word you're saying. According to 42 Dugg, he walked away with all his money and all his jewelry untouched. No losses, no pressure, nothing. That's a bold statement to make in front of the entire world, especially with so many eyes watching. But he didn't stop there. He also hinted that things didn't just end that night and suggested there were consequences afterward. That's where things started getting murky, even for people close to the situation. DJ Akademiks, who's known Wack for years, even admitted he couldn't fully verify every claim anymore. And when someone like that starts expressing doubt, it makes the whole story even more complicated.
And I was by myself with $100,000. They tried me, bro. Right or wrong, they tried me. They surrounded me, told me, I ain't giving a rich nigga shit, nigga. And my mama can die right now.
Where me, you, and Squeeze catch niggas at, dog?
Got it. My mama could die if I'm lying, bro. I didn't get them niggas a dime, bro. And I was by myself, got it. Who you know doing that? Who you know leaving somewhere with 100,000 surrounded by 12 niggas clothes and leave out that bitch with all his money, all his...
A lot of people tried to tie all of this drama together. The business issues, the street politics, the personal problems. Fans started creating theories about why Migos eventually split, blaming everything from ego battles to relationship drama. But Offset shut that down himself. When Keke Palmer asked him directly about the breakup in 2023, he didn't dodge the question. He made it clear it wasn't about Quavo wanting to shine more, and it wasn't about relationship rumors either. According to Offset, it was strictly business.
Migos disbanded in 2023. When did it really start to fall apart?
It wasn't
obviously
really,
before then.
I think things on the business side wasn't turning to my favor. I wanted, I got kids. You know what I mean? I got kids, a family. And I'm just getting older and more smart, paying more attention to my money, my finances, and felt like I wanted a bigger piece.
Sure.
Not from them, but from the business.
Yeah. True to you and Sweetie?
No, man. It was a rumor, man, and I feel like it was something deeper than that for the split of me and bro. It was something deeper than that. You know what I mean? It was something deeper than that.
He wanted a bigger share of what the group was bringing in, and the structure they were under didn't allow for growth. He had responsibilities, a family to take care of, and needed to see real progress. On The Breakfast Club, host broke down Offset's comments and addressed how he cleared up years of speculation. Offset even suggested that certain business figures were quietly working behind the scenes to create division within the group to keep control.
Sweetie is not the reason that Offset and Quavo are no longer friends, nor is she the reason that Cardi B and Offset divorced. Offset sat down with Keke Palmer on This Is Keke Palmer and talked about that rumor that has been circulating. Let's take a listen.
It was something deeper than that for the split of me and bro. I don't really want to touch on, but it's something deeper than that. I think that was just like that was a thing that was a buzz that I heard.
That brings everything full circle. The industry thrives on separating artists, keeping them divided so they can't push back together. Offset recognized that pattern happening in real time within his own family. And one of the heaviest moments came when Offset finally opened up about Takeoff's passing. He admitted he's been carrying deep guilt for a long time. something he had never shared publicly before that conversation. That part is heavy, no question about it. Offset basically admitted he's been living with the thought that if he never stepped away to focus on his solo path, if he stayed locked in handling the group's business issues, maybe Takeoff wouldn't have ended up in that exact situation that changed everything. He knew how the group moved when they were all together. Offset was always the one reading the energy, calling it early, saying it's time to bounce when things felt off. And that night, he wasn't there to do that. That absence has been sitting with him ever since. On top of that personal weight, he also had to deal with non-stop online talk.
I think people was trying to tear my situation down in that situation. And
You think there were business people that were plotting on you both?
for sure.
Yeah, and they were creating you guys, stopping you guys from being strong so that y'all couldn't go together against that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would be seeing headlines and we men, so we don't play those games. We don't even know how to do that.
When people like that pass away, especially so suddenly, it had to make you think, you know, what did you think? You know what I'm saying?
To
Like,
be honest with you, I never really said this. Like, I felt like I had that, like, some responsibility was on me, because what if I didn't go solo? What if I just thugged it out with the business not being right? You know what I mean? Maybe we wouldn't even been right there or in that place, because I just know how we move when I'm around.
People who didn't know the real bond between him and Takeoff started pushing fake stories, claiming they weren't even on good terms. That kind of noise only made an already painful situation worse. Now that everything's been laid out, the industry games Offset dealt with, the Cardi B and Blueface situation that pulled Wack into the mix, the Dice game story, and the truth behind the Migos split, it's time to connect the dots. When it comes to the Dice game situation, Wack showed messages from Offset that supported his version of events. That detail matters. Offset wasn't upset with Wack over that story at all. If anything, he was backing up what Wack said happened that night, even while 42 Dugg was telling a different version publicly. Before closing this out, there's something Offset said about hip-hop that really sticks. Despite the drama, the business headaches, and the personal losses, he still believes in the culture and his place in it. That's the mindset of someone who's been through real pressure and kept moving forward.
You don't believe it?
Offset is still active, still creating, still learning from past mistakes, both in business and in life. That growth is what defines this whole story. This wasn't just about rumors or internet debates. It was about unfair deals, industry power plays, personal relationships getting pulled into public chaos, and a group navigating success under pressure. This breakdown covered Offset's own words on questionable contracts, Wack100's Dice game account, 42 Dugg pushing back hard, the Cardi B situation that raised tensions, and the real reason Migos went their separate ways. And once you see the full picture, it's clear this story was always bigger than one moment. Now that you've heard every angle, every claim, and every contradiction, it really comes down to you to decide what makes the most sense. After everything that's been said, who do you believe in this situation, Wack or 42 Dugg? And beyond that, do you think the music industry is still running the same old plays that Offset described from the early days of his career? Because a lot of people watching this right now feel like nothing's really changed, just the faces and the contracts. This whole story wasn't just about one dice game or one argument that spiraled online. It was about power, control, loyalty, and how fast situations can get twisted once money and egos get involved. You saw how business problems turned personal, how personal issues became public, and how public narratives took on lives of their own. And that's exactly how the industry keeps people confused and divided. Offset's experiences pulled back the curtain on how artists get locked into deals they don't fully understand. Wack's version of events added fuel to a story that already had tension baked into it. And 42 Dugg pushing back hard showed how reputation matters just as much as money in this game. Every side felt like they had something to lose, and that's why the truth still feels slippery. And let's be real for a second. Stories like this don't pop up for no reason. They keep resurfacing because the same systems are still in place. Artists still sign paperwork under pressure, managers still wear multiple hats, and fans are still left trying to piece together what's real and what's just noise. So now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and let it be known. Who do you think was telling the truth in this situation? Do you feel like Offset was right about how artists get boxed in by business early on? Or do you think these situations come down to personal choices more than industry tricks? Say it with your chest. And if you made it this far into the breakdown, do me a favor and smash that like button. It helps way more than you think and lets the algorithm know you want more deep dives like this. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next, because trust me, we've got way more stories lined up that go even deeper. Make sure you turn on notifications too, because these situations evolve fast, and you don't want to be late when the next piece of celebrity drama drops. We break things down, connect the dots, and keep it honest every single time. And before you click away, don't stop here. There's another video popping up on your screen right now that dives even deeper into celebrity drama, industry secrets, and behind-the-scenes chaos you probably haven't heard before. If this story had you hooked, that next one is about to take things even further. Tap that video, stay locked in, stay curious, and stay informed. I'll catch you on the next one.